It's all right.
Here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the talk show with DJ Gatsby. I'm your host with the most from coast to coast. We're back on the air. You know, I've been off for a while, a few months now. You know, taking a little time off, a little hiatus, but we're back. We got a new lineup. We're going to be doing 3 shows a week. Mondays is going to be the talk show with DJ Gatsby. Wednesdays is going to be Wind Down Wednesdays, and Fridays is going to be Flashback Fridays. Where Flashback Fridays, we're going to be picking up with people we did interviews before, kind of giving them where they are now and what have they done lately. The Wind Down Wednesdays is really going to be for new artists, new authors, people we're doing from all backgrounds, political, religious, and just people who are celebrities, pretty much, or influencers on social media. Today, our guest is a good friend of mine, Kennedee Devoe, aka KD, from Carson, California. She's an author, ghostwriter, and a writing coach, among a lot of other things. I've been a huge fan of her since like 2014. Never met in person. We always meeting online. KD, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you, Jeff?
I'm good, man. I'm excited, man. I've been waiting to get you, on the air to do this show. We've done the blog talk, we've done print interviews, we've done all other kind of stuff, but we haven't had a chance to do the Facebook Live or any type of video conferencing show since I got this online. So I'm just so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. So listen, how have you been? I mean, how have you been doing since the COVID shutdown and all these other things happening with the COVID pandemic? How have you been?
Well, you know me, I'm a socialite. So the pandemic really put a little damper on my social life, but it did help me to become a better business person. And, the time that I had was spent wisely. I did come out with a couple of things, which was my budget planners. And these are monthly budget planners, and it helps you plan out your finances for the month. That way you don't have to be asking people for $40. If you budget right, you'll have the $40.
All right. So are those your latest books?
It is. And this is also my latest book. This is a workbook. And a lot of people ask me, how do you get started, outlining your book? So I created something for people who would like to outline and write their books. And so I've been busy.
All right. All right. So for people who don't know, Katie, she's an author, as I said before, ghostwriter, and a writing coach. So tell us a little bit about each one of those talents and skills that you've perfected over the years, starting with the author, the ghostwriting, and the writing coach. So tell us a little bit about what it is you do and how things are going.
Well, for those of you who are not familiar with my work, this is my first book, Two Wrongs Don't Make a Right. It Makes Us Even, which was the Amazon bestseller back in 2012. That's when it debuted. And then I followed up with Friends Like These, Who Needs Enemies. A lot of people like this book. I don't like this book so much. A lot of people say, you shouldn't say that, but I think it's okay to be honest.
I'm very familiar with both of those books. I walked down that road with you with both of those books. All right, keep going.
Okay. And then this is my favorite book that I've written. It's called Just Can't Do Right. It's my favorite book because I challenged myself to write it from a male's perspective, and I know you read it, and you gave me 5 stars for this book. So that meant a lot because you didn't give me 5 stars on that other book.
That book was very controversial. You did take a turn. You threw a curveball to a lot of people who have been following the first 2 books. That book was like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Wait, who is this and what has happened to her? Why is she writing like this? But, the saga continues with the book. Yes. So that was the 3rd book.
Yes. And then I wrote a book on how to write a book. Because again, the story used to be sold, not told. So I get a lot of people like, how do you write a book? And if you're going to ask me about it, you could just buy it from me. So,
yeah.
And then I have my last book, which is Why Does Love Hate Me? And this is like a sequel to Two Wrongs. A lot of people don't know that because I changed the name of the character, but it's still me in this book.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got for the author thing. But yeah, I have a catalog of 8 books so far.
Yeah, each one of those books are standalones. You didn't do part 2s. You didn't do sequels. It was more like a journey. Your presence on social media always kind of piggyback the books. You know, you release a book, and then on social media, your posts and comments concerning the book always was like another part of the books. Now, I want to talk about your social media presence. You're on social media a lot. What are you, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
Facebook at Author Kennedee Devoe and Instagram at It Must Be KD. But I'm mostly on Facebook. I don't have a whole lot of time to be on social media. You know, I got other things going on.
Yeah, a lot of people follow you not just for your writing, but for your social media presence. They call people social media influencers or Instagram models or Facebook models like that. You live quite an interesting lifestyle out in California. And I tell you that all the time.
Yes, you do.
You know, very stylish, very classy. You live, as I put it, like a Hollywood lifestyle, in my opinion. Where does that style, class, sophistication come from? You know, were you like a tomboy when you were young, and then you just changed into, you know, this, you know, beautiful woman, or were you always, you know, just upscale, you know, stylish young woman?
I would say I've always been this way, and I credit that to my mom, who passed away in 2017. She was stylish, you know. She didn't let us leave the house raggedy. She didn't leave the house raggedy. You will never catch me outside with a bonnet on, because that's just not how I roll. But, you know, to each his own. But my mom always taught me, when you leave the house, you should be, you know, presentable, because you never know who you're going to run into. And so I've just kept that with me as I've grown up. So I owe that all to her.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the outfits that you wear, the places that you go, the pictures that you take, is that something that comes easy? Is there something you sit on and plan, or are you just out about, you know, on the town, and it's like, hey, let me take a couple of pictures while I'm out?
Well, my outings are definitely, you know, things that I plan. I don't know if you know, but back in 2019, I was involved in a really, really bad car accident where I T-boned a car, then the car spun out, and I hit a wall. And the wall did the most damage than anything. So from that day forward, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do everything that I promised myself I was going to do. Yeah. And I started doing it even more. Like, I know I probably was doing a lot before, but I took it up another notch once I had the car accident. So, yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I try to have a social media presence at one time. It changes as I got older, or, you know, my taste changed, or my perspective on what I was doing changes. But it is, you know, someone once told me that, you know, people watch you, people admire you, and people want to know more about you and see, you know, who you are and what is it you do. I want to say you're a role model. You're an inspiration to a lot of people in the book industry, as well as a fashion sense. I know you're very outspoken when it comes to relationships. I remember at one point in your life, all you were talking about was relationships, and people were wondering, like, what's next for Kennedee? She's single, she's dating, you know, is she man bashing, or what is she doing? You know, and you always come out on top. You always got the same energy and zest for life from the first time I met you. What do you contribute that to?
Well, I would just say that I have a very strong personality. I've just learned to do things by myself. My mom and my dad taught me how to be self-sufficient, which is so important, because you can only rely on yourself once your parents or anybody else is gone. So I contribute that to my upbringing.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. All right, once again, everybody, it's the Talk Show with DJ GATSBY. We're here with talented and lovely Miss Kennedee Devoe, aka KD, from Carson, California. She's going to share in a few minutes with us. We're going to be on here till 6:30. So we got a lot to cover. So call your friends, family, tell them to tune in. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, check us out. We're broadcasting live right here. Now, we're going to ask you some questions about relationships. I know you, I don't know if you give relationship advice, but you end up in discussions that, surround relationships. I guess the title of your books and the content of your books are always about relationships, whether they're, with friends or a lover or relationships. Why is that topic always kind of in the forefront of your books? Are you consider yourself a relationship expert, or you a relationship whisperer, or guru, or something like that?
At this point, I'm gonna say yeah, because I wrote like 4 books about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back and say, yeah, I'm a relationship expert. I will not disclose if I am or if I am not in a relationship, but just know that I'm loved by many people.
Okay. All right.
No. But I do give really good relationship advice because my mother, which was my grandmother who I was raised by, I seen that old-fashioned love, the love that, stand throughout the test of time. And so I think that, what I seen them go through in a marriage is what I aspire to have with my mate. And so I'm not going to accept anything less. Like my mom always said, we gave you filet mignon. Why would you go get ground beef?
Okay. Well, what I was always curious. What do your readers say to you? Because a lot of times, conversations that writers, authors have with their readers aren't always on Facebook. They don't really express their views a lot of times in book reviews. And I know you have a close relationship to readers and followers of yours. What is some of the interesting feedback you've gotten from some of your writing?
I think the most interesting feedback that I've received throughout the years is that the stories are raw, they're real, and most of all, they're relatable because, the majority of my audience is women, and most women go through the trials and tribulations of being in bad relationships. So, of course, they can attest to some of the things that, I've gone through in the books. And some people, they've had one-hit wonders where they found their first love, the first go-around, and that's all they know. So that they cannot connect with, some of the relationships that I had in the book because they've only had one boyfriend or one husband. So those are probably not my readers. But the readers who have been through, some things in relationships, they love my books.
Yeah. Well, I can get it. I love your books. I tell you how I feel about them and where I fit in. I've asked you this question before, the books about you or about your relationships or people that you know. And, that answer, can change from time to time, depending on the book or what the conversation is about. But you kind of ended writing the books at the last one, and you started talking about helping people write and what you need to do if you want to be an author. Tell us about that part of your career where you've become a writing coach, and tell us about the books that you've written that were intended to help people who want to become authors and write books. You held them up at the beginning of the show, but tell us a bit about those books and that series of books that you have.
Well, I decided to become a ghostwriter and a writing coach just based on the fact that I knew at this point in time, I did not want to write any more of my own material. because I don't have anything new to share, unfortunately. I'm waiting for my happily ever after to come to share with my readers, because I think that's what they're really waiting on with me, is my happily ever after story. And hopefully eventually they will get it, but in the future, not right now, not the near future at least. But I did want to help other people, because writing a book can be an easy task. It's all about working smarter, not harder. And a lot of people just don't know where to begin. So this is your beginning step right here, which is the storybook planner. And if I could just like go inside for a second, oops, that's just notes. But it gives you like chapter outlines to go by to get you started for each chapter. And that way you know where you left off and where you want to start at for each chapter. And a lot of people think you have to write out a whole book, which you shouldn't. You should probably just type your book. The storybook planner is for you to only do the outline, not for you to write out a whole book, or so it's more time consuming when you actually write out a book and then you have to type it. You're doing double the work, so it doesn't make sense. So I always tell people, just do an outline and then you go ahead and type your actual book versus writing it all out. And then, excuse me, I'm writing a book. Now what is after you're done writing your book? Because people think once you're done with the book, you're done. No, you cannot just upload your book. You need to get it edited. You need to get it typeset. You need to get a book cover. And I'm not talking about a pre-made book cover. And I'm not trying to knock anybody who sells pre-made book covers.
Oh, yeah.
But you want some originality to whatever product it is that you have. And so it's several steps that go along with it. The legal paperwork that you have to file in order to make sure that don't nobody steal your work, because it's your intellectual property. But it's several steps, and it's easy steps if you have someone coaching you through it. So that's why I decided to do it, because when I first came on in 2012, I had a publisher, and it was a bad contract. And I ended up having to get out of the contract and pay them more money to get my files back in order for me to continue with 2 months to make a write. And so with that, this is the reason why I started, doing Devoe Publications, to assist people, and do it ethically, because that's what that person should have did with me.
Wow. All right, but now those are just 2 books. Isn't there a 3rd book?
No, it's not. I just have the budget planners, and the budget planners are, for people who probably have bad credit or can't, budget their money properly. It's for that.
Okay. All right. So that's the writing coach portion of what you do. So if somebody, let's say, says they see the show and they say, okay, she has books on how to get started and how to write a book. That's not enough, because you don't have a story, you don't have an idea. All you have is a story and an idea. You don't know how to start writing. So what does the writing coach actually do? Because those 2 books, if it was just that, then I just buy those 2 books and write me a story. But I know it's going to take more than that. So what does the writing coach do? And, how is that valuable to an aspiring author or writer or somebody who's working on a book?
Well, I do critique their work. If no one knows, I have a master's degree in human services. And so I've written a whole lot of papers during my college career. So in addition to writing books. And so I do critique the client's writing as they're going along, if that's what they're hiring me for as a writing coach, is to critique their work and maybe, help add to the story, take away from the story, make it make sense. Because a lot of times you just have words on paper and the story is not flowing. There has to be a flow to the story. And so that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is, once you're done, like say for instance, you didn't have me during that process, but once you're done and you want me to read the book and critique the whole overall book, then I do that as well. And then the writing coach includes me helping you with the legal paperwork as well. A lot of people are not familiar with the fact that you should copyright your work. They think that, it's their work it is what it is, and that's not how it goes. You have to get your work copywritten. And I don't want to give it all away, because the thing is, you know, people pay for consultations with me, and it's not fair, you know, for me to divulge all the information. But it's just a lot of different steps that goes along with it. But I try to be fair. I try to be ethical in everything that I do, because that's important to me.
Yeah, I can imagine as a writing coach, you'd have to, everybody has a different set of skills. Everybody has a different set of needs when it comes to trying to write a book or where they are in the process. So I get that. But the other question I have, and this is about the ghostwriting. The last time I interviewed you, we talked about ghostwriting. You was like, yeah, I ghostwrite. But we were never able to say, you know, what books, what authors, you know, like, you know, got people here like Puffy, you know, winning awards, but he don't write no rhymes. So
he said he write checks. It don't matter. You know,
I was so interested. I was like, who's she writing for? And I'm like, I read this person's work. It sounds like Kennedy. And I was like, nah, I can't do it like that. I can't do it like. But what? and I don't want you to tell me who's writing. But what are the advantages of having a ghostwriter? Because if you are a ghostwriter, I mean, since you are a ghostwriter, what are the advantages? Like, what are the selling points? Because I might want a ghostwriter, but I want, you know, why? So what are the advantages of having a ghostwriter like yourself help with writing a book?
I do all the work. You get all the praise.
Well, you know, all right, you do all the work, but that means you can just write a book and give it to me, and I put my name on it.
No,
it's not that simple.
I go through a series of interviews with the client, and we discuss what they want to talk about, and it's all typed up, and then I go back in and either I rewrite it or take some things out, make it make sense. But you know, there's some steps to it. It's definitely some steps, but if you don't have the time to write a whole book, or you don't have the creative side, you know, to build your characters, or if you don't even have time to type the book, then
I know the feeling. Listen, I was in college. I had people writing. I had friends that would write a paper for you. You know what I mean? So I know how. I know
writing papers. So
yeah, of course. But I guess my question was your success as a writer and a publisher, and your track record kind of lends to that skill set. And the reason I asked is because some people don't know what are the characteristics that you look for when it comes to taking on a project or a client to be a ghostwriter. And I think that was the seriousness part of the question. Is it you know, is a person interested in writing? Is it something they're passionate about? Do they have a story that doesn't need to be developed? Is it something you could help them with? And I think you answered that question by saying yes. But what is it you're looking for when it comes to taking on a client? Because I know people who do ghostwriting and even publishing, but they look for things in a client that are going to help them, you know, achieve the goals that you're trying to reach. So what are some of the things you look for when it comes to taking on a client and ghostwriting for them?
Well, I'm looking for soulmate clients, and that's not headache clients, but soulmate clients. Because some clients can be a headache, and all money is not good money. And
I know that. I understand.
You know, I've had to refund some people, and I didn't mind, so because I knew it was best for my health. So, but one of the intake questions that I asked during the consultation is, on a scale of 1 to 5, you know, how good are you with following directions? On a scale of 1 to 5, you know,
I need to add that question to my services, because I've worked with some people who are not good at all, and it's very difficult to work with something. A friend of mine was on a job interview, and they said, you know, one of the questions for them was, well, do you mind taking orders or having a female boss? And I was like, that could be an issue for somebody who doesn't like taking orders from women, or
Right.
you know, who doesn't. So I see exactly why you want that, and that would be a very important aspect.
Yeah. And one of the additional questions is like on a scale of 1 to 5, how good are you with Word? Because a lot of people don't seem to understand that, you have to be able to, pull the attachments from an email and read them and open it up or make changes. And
Yeah,
if you don't
yeah,
know how to do that, then that's going to
yeah,
be an issue.
yeah. I get it. So you need to be technically savvy, at least with Word documents and emails, and able to communicate effectively with you. Yeah.
Yes.
That wow. That now that I think about it, that can be kind of difficult if you're not in the same room with that person, like you're going to school every day and we're meeting together to go through it. I guess the technical aspects of it could be very interesting.
Yeah.
Most
But,
kids teach.
thank
Go ahead.
goodness for Zoom, because Zoom has helped me out immensely,
Oh yeah.
during time. So, I've been able to jump on with clients and show them how to do things the correct way, when they're kind of lost. So it's been very instrumental and helpful to have Zoom.
Yeah, I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you again, man. Again, the last time I spoke to you, we were only talking about the books and things of that nature. But you've done a lot more than just write books. I like the ghostwriting aspect of what you do, as well as the writing coach, and even writing the books to kind of help somebody along. One thing about writing, that I've noticed from people I talk to, is it's you can have the desire, but you have to have the passion, and if you don't have both, then you're going to be in trouble. Everybody say, "I want to be a race car driver. I want a race car driver." But if you don't have the passion, you're not gonna take any steps to try and do it. So I like that you're writing books for readers, but you're also encouraging people to write themselves. And being a writing coach and ghostwriting is definitely something that people can look forward to. All right, so back to your books, though, the relationship books that you've written. I think the last time I spoke to you about it, you were kind of up in the air about whether you're going to write any more books or whether you're going to change topics. You had some other genres that you were interested in. So for your readers that are out there, what can they look forward to you writing, what different genres or different topics in the future?
I think it might be, I'm going on my 10-year anniversary in August of 2022. And I have an idea in mind that I want to write for my next book, but it's just a matter of time. Because right now my schedule is very busy. I have a lot of people that I'm writing books for at this time. And I want to make sure I give them 100%, for what they signed up for with me before I start working on my own stuff. So I'm going to say it's contingent that I might, drop a book in August 2022. I'm not going to make them promises, but
Okay.
It is on my to-do list, and we'll see if it happens.
My answer to all of that is whenever you write a book, I need to come back on the show. I need to get a copy. I need some kind of, advance notice so I can get the scoop on what's happening with KD. I know you very well. I mean, I know you so good. People ask me about you. I'm like, man, I don't really know her. I just know her from Facebook. It's square. I don't really know her like that, but we'll talk about that later. I told you I had a segment that I wanted to start with you with the shows I'm going to be doing my interviews. It's basically like 10 questions.
I can answer.
I had a list for you, but now I don't even know what happened to it. The first one is about your birthday, your zodiac sign, and why you have to celebrate for I don't know, the month before, the whole month, and the month after. What is your zodiac sign again?
I am a Leo.
Okay, and what's with your month-long celebration of your birthday?
Okay, so a lot of people started doing this when social media, started, going on. But I've been doing this since I was a kid. Anybody that knows me knows that I've been celebrating my birthday for the whole month since I was a kid. My mother couldn't stand me during Leo season because I had 2, 3, 4 birthday parties.
Oh, God.
So it kind of just followed me. But as I got older, I realized that the reason why I did it was because my father, he passed away when I was 3. He was involved in a very bad car accident, and he was only 23 when he passed. And so his birthday is 3 days before mine. And so it's a celebration for me and him. You know,
oh, I get it now.
You know,
no, I get it.
As long as I did. And so I'm just going to party it up for both of us.
Okay. I don't know who that is. Call me. You got to take them later. All right, next. What is your favorite drink when you go out to drink? And fellas, if you are watching, please take notes. This might help you out if you ever lucky enough to get a date. But what is your favorite drink when you go out, you know, on a date or just out?
Okay, so I have 2 drinks. So it depends on the mood. If, you know, I'm trying to get shit-faced, I'll have Patron Silver chilled with salt on the rim. But if I'm just trying to, you know, chill and have a good night, I'll have Prosecco, which is like a sparkling wine champagne.
All right, fellas. I hope y'all got a pen, man. All right. The next one was, I think it was your favorite restaurant. What is your favorite restaurant? Excuse me, in your area out there? Because I see you at a lot of fabulous places. I mean, day parties, brunches, you know, just all kinds of places. What is your favorite restaurant?
Okay, I'm gonna give you 2. One is on the high end and one is on the low end. So on the high end is a place called Killer Shrimp in Marina Del Rey. The food is fabulous. I enjoy it. They have this shrimp dish that is very delicious. On the low end, Sizzler.
Sizzler? I don't even know if they still have Sizzlers. On the East Coast, the Sizzler's gone.
I love Sizzler. I shared some really special moments with my mom at Sizzler when I was younger. I thought we could really do it.
Isn't that the buffet place? Like the buffet with Sizzler?
Yeah, they have the salad bar buffet with the soup, the salad.
All right.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Listen, you put a smile on a lot of brothers' face when you said Sizzler. They were like, Katie, listen, I know you like to go to the spot, but this week, you know, because I don't get paid till next week. But this week we're gonna do Sizzler, and I got you another spot. All right, so we still going. Your dream car. You know, I don't know, Lamborghini, Ferrari, or, you know, Bentley. I don't know, but what is your dream car?
It might be a Range Rover. That's what I wanted when I was younger.
Oh no, that's right up my alley. That's my car. I drive a Lexus now, and then Lexus RX 350. But the Range Rover is actually my dream car.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on the same page with that. Now on a date, where's your favorite thing to do? I mean, bowling, movie, dinner, skydiving, surfing. I don't know where you're in California, but just you know, a nice date. You're going out on a date, and Dude says, where would you like to go? Anywhere to do anything. You know, what is just one of the many I'm sure you have, but dream date.
Well, I like to have a balance. You know, I like my high-end restaurants that I go to for fine dining, but then I like to bowl. And anybody that knows me knows I've been bowling since I was 7 years old. I have my own shoes and ball. I got trophies in the house.
Okay, well, what's your bowling average? We heard about the dinners already.
Okay, you ready?
230?
You ready?
What is it?
220.
220. All right, that's not bad. So it sounds like your dream date is dinner. You admire a nice restaurant, seafood, nice drinks, and I can tell by the places that I've seen you at. You like the ambiance, a nice view, spectacular views, and that's what I see because I see you taking wonderful pictures at nice places with friends when you're going out. And now the restaurant you mentioned, what was the name of that restaurant again that you said your favorite restaurant? Okay. All right. All right. Another question. Dream vacation. You're traveling anywhere in the world. You know, all expense paid, round trip. You know, $5,000. You know, spending spree. Where's your dream vacation? In the United States, France, Europe?
It's out of the country. It's Maldives because I need a stamp in my passport. I had just renewed it before COVID to go to Puerto Rico for my birthday. That didn't happen, so I have a blank passport.
Oh, we gotta take care of that. This is a dream vacation. This is just like somebody saying, "Hey, man, wherever you want to go, congratulations, you just won an all expense paid. You want? Let's make a deal. All expense paid round trip, hotel accommodations and transportation. Where you going? You going to France?
It would definitely be Maldives. It would be Maldives. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I got to look up the map and find out where that is.
It looks very tropical, very tranquil. I think I would enjoy myself. I'm not into like rough and rugged, you know, vacation.
Oh yeah. Some people are into that. Yeah, I see that. Okay, and we're gonna keep it simple now. Your favorite color?
Pink.
Favorite color is pink.
All day long.
Favorite color pink, all day long.
Yeah.
And I just had to squeeze this one in. I said I was going to try to keep it, you know, wasn't going to go with all the stuff that people was asking about, you know, hair, nails, makeup, eyelashes, all that. We don't care. You're beautiful as you are. We learn to embrace Black women, whether it's what God gave you or what God gave you the ability to buy. It doesn't matter. We all good. But dating, you know, you got dark-skinned brothers, you got light-skinned brothers. You know, we're not at odds, but we seldomly like to know what women prefer. So, not prejudiced, but you dating dark-skinned brothers, light-skinned brothers, don't matter. And that's my last question.
I'm dating anyone who is going to treat me right.
There you go.
What it is.
I love that answer. I love that answer because it doesn't really matter to me. If somebody asked me if I dated, you know, light-skinned girls, dark-skinned girls, fat, skinny, listen, at the end of the day, it's the one who makes me feel like you're really interested in who I am and how I make it.
And they need to be bringing peace to
the situation.
Yeah,
drama-free.
It's not going to work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, but I said that was my last question, but when you
communicate,
there's one more. Are you a texting person, phone call person, or FaceTime? And this is, you know, this is like your dude or somebody that's just, you know, FaceTime.
I'm a talk person. I'm a talk person because
phone calls.
Yeah, I think that's so important to, you know, hear people's voice, the tone. Because a lot of times when you're texting, you know, it could be taken out of, you know, context, and that wasn't how it was supposed to be perceived. And now you got somebody mad at you, and you know, a simple conversation could clear things up. So I'm more of a talker on the phone than anything.
There you
Don't FaceTime me though, because sometimes I'll be in here looking.
Oh no, FaceTime just out of order. That's like somebody showing up at your house without calling, like knocking on the door. Who is it? And you know, you just open the door. But anyway, everybody, it's DJ GATSBY, the talk show. We're back. We're just relaunching after a long hiatus. Kennedee Devoe in the building, open and honest. We didn't get into a lot of other questions, but there was ones that brothers was like, yo, ask her about herself. Let's get to know who she is, what she likes, what she prefers, which is the part of people's personalities that we don't really get to ask too much about because we're so concentrated on their business or profession. So I appreciate you taking that time to ask those trivial questions. With my team is taking notes. You know, they like trying to learn. This isn't a conference. We could do some relationship advice, but that may be another interview. Well, but I thank you for taking out the time to be here. Now, before you go, you mentioned that you may have some books coming up, but tell us people how they can contact you, websites, social media, in order to follow you or contact you about your services as a ghostwriter and or writing coach.
Okay, so I have a couple of things coming up. I have my $5 raffle where you can win my entire catalog, all my books, all my workbooks, all my planners for $5. All it takes is $5 to enter into the raffle. You can go on my website, which is www.kdevoe.com, or you can cash at me at It Must Be KD. And I also have a webinar, which is like a boot camp, so to speak, for a 60-minute Zoom meeting to show you how to get your book started and finished from beginning to end. And it's $45, and I think it's on October 23rd, I believe. October, yeah. So you can also go on my website for that. And if you are interested in the ghostwriting or the self-publishing or the writing coach, you can go on my website for that. It's under the services tab. But if you've never read a book by me, then you can read the testimonials of some of the clients that I've had. And you'll see I have some celebrity clients who gave testimonies and just my regular clients who gave testimonies about my services. And they're not paid testimonies. They're actual happy with my services. And I appreciate them for even taking the time out to do that. Because again, I just want to give good quality service to everyone, despite who they may be. And
well, I got to hit that website.
What'd you say?
I got to hit that website and leave a review too, man, because I definitely have some nice things to say about what you've done and recommend you for everything that it is that you do. But go ahead.
Thank you. But that's about it. I can be found on Instagram at It Must Be KD. And again, I'm on Facebook at Author Kennedee Devoe. If you want to see any of my videos, I'm on YouTube. All you have to search in the search bar is Kennedee Devoe. And that's about it. I'm not on a lot of social media sites like that. So
well, listen, when you are a huge impact and people follow you. People are very animated in their comments. You know, they have no shame in their game. My boys, you know, James Gordon and the other guy, I could go with the list. We've always been huge fans of you. We've all had celebrity crush. We all think you're a fabulous person. Wow. And you know, you kind of brighten up the day every time you do hit social media with anything, whether it's a quote, comment, or a post. So you know, it's just a pleasure knowing you. We wish you continued success in all that you do. Don't change a thing. Again, you're an inspiration to a lot of people in a lot of different ways, man. And you know, you're just a blessing to the writing community, so to speak.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you having me on the show. And I just want to thank my supporters. And those are people who share my stuff, purchase my stuff, who will inbox me encouragement. Like, I won't be on for a couple of days or weeks, sometimes months, but that hasn't happened recently. But they'll send me a DM or even send me an email and inquire, are you okay? Is everything okay? And that's the kind of love and support that I appreciate. It's just all of that. Yeah. So if you supported me from 2012 up until now, I definitely appreciate you so much.
Nah, that's real. I feel the exact same way. People feel like friends, you feel like family, your acquaintances, business associates, man. We all have the same passion and drive. We all want the same things in life, like you said, to be happy and live drama free. And like I said, it's like a family. It's like a community. All of us, I don't need to mention our names, but we're all in the same circles. We're all doing the same thing, and we support and love each other unconditionally. So that's what it is. Once again, it's DJ Gatsby, the talk show. We're back. This is our relaunch of the show, and we thank you, KD, so much for coming on, talking about the books, her services, as well as, you know, them little pop-up questions, man, to give us a little insight. Give us a little insight on who she is and what she likes and enjoys to do. Katie, promise me you'll come back on at another time.
Of course.
This is real cool. This is real cool. The Blog Talk Radio and all the other stuff is one thing, but the live interviews are real cool. Now, don't forget, you can follow DJ Gatsby on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DJ Gatsby. You can watch this show, the talk show with DJ Gatsby, on my YouTube channel, as well as my Instagram channel, too, on IGTV. So, Katie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself. stay COVID free.
You as well. And it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night. Have a good week. Don't forget to watch for the DJ Gatsby Show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday is going to be the DJ Gatsby Show. Wednesday is going to be Wind Down Wednesdays, and Friday is going to be Flashback Fridays. Follow my Facebook page and Instagram to see who my guests are going to be in the upcoming week. Peace. God bless you, and have a wonderful weekend. All right. Here we go.